please. No more war. Let's just lay down arms. Let's lay it all down and just decide to do something together as a human collective. A way forward that we can all agree upon. Like minds, and we're stronger when we work together. Teamwork is the ticket. So, coming up with something we can do together, a new prime directive that will take us forward. And we will be able to do something good for the future generations that are depending on us. And that's exactly what we need to do right now because the climate can't wait. A crisis is a crisis, and it's only going to get worse with every season that passes and every second that ticks by on the clock. We're only going to see it get worse. So 365 days, that's a crisis. It's not a slow climate change that takes place over hundreds or thousands or millions of years, but it's a crisis. So that means we have to do something now, like we would deal with any crisis. And I wrote THT for that very reason, to offer the remedy that we can apply to create a happy earth. And that is what we need to do now to go forward into the next year and the next year and 10 years from now. We need to create a new way to do it. And transportation, human transportation has always evolved, right? It went from feet. Oh, timing is everything. It went from feet to horses, to horse and carriage, to trains, to cars. And now we're going to see it go from cars to what? Orbs, travel orbs, sleigh orbs even, on the two-way, connected to a tidal port built over the surface of the ocean where we can draw the water out of the ocean, send it through the two-way, propel the travel orbs, and in a return to take it back and put the water back in the ocean. So we're not taking it out and burning it like we did with fossil fuels, but instead we're giving it back. So that's a good thing. That's a plus, because stripping the fossil fuels that it took Earth millions of years to form is not a good thing. We take them, we strip them, we burn them, and we poof, that's it, they're gone. We don't get anything back. So it's not good to do that, just like if you were driving a car and you took all of the fluids out of that car, the oil and the gasoline and every other fluid, power steering fluid, and I don't know because I'm not a mechanic, but if you took out all of the fluids that make that car operate, it wouldn't operate, right? And it wouldn't run smoothly, and it would be really hectic and chaotic, and it just wouldn't be a good thing. So cars have fluids for a reason, and that's why we keep the fluids in a car so the car will run smoothly. And Earth does move in space, on its axis, and a revolution around the sun. So it kind of like is our car in outer space, just taking us for right around. But that's it, that's our car, and we're trying to remove all those fluids and still expecting Earth to run smoothly, and that's just not going to happen. So it's our job to fix the damage that we've done. Since we've removed the fluids, we need to just kind of pull back that dependency we have on fossil fuels and end it altogether, and then leave her the last bit of reserve of her fluids and her fossil fuels that she has left. I just kind of leave those alone and let her start building them up again and do her thing, her process, and then rely on the willpower of salt water from the ocean, since it's like the most natural, abundant source of anything on Earth. So we can use that without taking it completely, but putting it back as we use it. So also by doing that and constantly pumping that water through the tubeway to go all around the world even, then we can mechanically decrease ocean levels. And that's what we need to do right now, seeing as the coastal regions are at the threat of rising sea levels. So if we mechanically decrease and lower the sea levels, that's also a good thing. We can, gather up the excessive plastics and metals that are lingering in the environment, and we can build the hydroport and the two-way and the travel orbs from those recycled materials. So again, that's a plus for the hydroport. So we'll be depending on salt water instead of fossil fuels. We'll be giving the salt water back to the ocean and the earth instead of taking it and burning it away like we do the fossil fuels. We will create a whole new industry, an entire new industry with everything, with opportunity, education, community projects, and outreach. We'll be able to do all sorts of stuff with this, and we can come together. We can go forward by building something new that will help us progress in a healthy way for everyone and everything involved, nature and earth and humans and plants and animals, and everything will prosper from us applying a new method and a new approach to transport ourselves and move ourselves around the globe. So, we are the modern generation to see human transportation evolve once again from cars to orbs. And that is a good thing. That's a plus. This is why THT works for humanity, because everything about THT is a plus. We'll also be drawing on hydropower, solar power, and wind power. 3 clean, earth-friendly, renewable, abundant resources that once we build the infrastructure that supports the THT Industries and the project of building the hydro plant, it's going to go and it's going to be good for a very long time because salt water doesn't burn. And over time, things might have to be maintained and updated, just like anything else. Any other tunnel or tubeway or subway or railroad, train tracks or, highways, everything has to be maintained and updated from time to time. So it won't be any different with the hydroport and the tubeway and the travel webs. But it's a start, and that's always a fine place, right? It's a start, and we can go forward on that start, and we can do it together. We don't have to keep having war and tearing the earth up even more and fighting with each other and bombs out the door. I mean, it's terrible human behavior. And this is 2023. We were supposed to have evolved and progressed to a better place by now. So that's what THT Industries is all about. It presents that better way that we can go forward as a human collective with something new, a new prime directive that we can focus on and pull our resources on and come together as a united humanity, but not like different countries and different states and different towns and cities and all of this stuff that divides us and makes us weak. And a lot of people get sad and lonely and depressed because we're all divided. And in these divisions brews hatred, and it breeds indifference, and it breeds apathy, and all of this stuff that we don't want, as a human collective. We want to be there for each other. We want to have each other's back. We want to work together to heal the environment that we have. We really have did our part in, what made the environment get bad in the first place. Our human behaviors left unchecked, and then we just kind of keep doing it, and that has caused the climate crisis to take place, because the climate crisis is different from climate change, and climate crisis due from that outside source, and that impact of that outside source over the long term. And that's kind of us, our behavior and humanity's impact on nature and the environment, and now we're seeing those effects play out. So it's time to do something about it. And so that's what THT Industries is all about. And I'm here presenting that to you because it's time, and we have to do it now before we get past that point of no return, when it's just going to be like, hey, there's nothing we can do now. We're just going to have to get through this. A lot of people are not going to be happy about it. It's going to be bad for a lot of people, and for nature, and for plants, and for animals. And so we don't want to let it get to that point. We want to do something now while we still have the time to do it. And while I presented the theory and the idea, the concept for how we can do it and how we can do it together, because that is always the best way to go forward, is together. We're stronger when we're together. Where there's 2 or more or less gathered, we are stronger. And we can do anything when we put our minds together. So this is a way that we can do something important that's really going to help Mother Earth and, maybe get us back on track to where we need to be concerning the environment and the climate and future generations, our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and every future generation that will ever call Earth home. We need to do it for them, because that is the right thing to do. That's being responsible and accountable, and it's being good stewards of planet Earth. And as human beings, every life on Earth, every soul has infinite energy. It has a purpose and a reason, and there's meaning to your life and my life and everyone's life. So we should do whatever we have to do to preserve that, because it's the gift, There might be a secret, but there's also a gift. And the gift is the fact that we even know the secret. The gift is everything. The gift is why we're here. The gift is love. And the gift is equal balance and harmony in that love, and going forward in the light of that love, because it heals everything. It heals us as a human collective. It heals planet Earth and Mother Nature, and it gives us a home, and it gives us warmth and safety. And that's exactly what we need, especially in times like right now. There's so much war and upheaval and unrest Everything going on that's full of hatred and darkness, and that is not how we want to go forward into tomorrow. How would we even know that tomorrow exists if it was just darkness and we couldn't see anything, right? We couldn't see the trees or the leaves. We couldn't even see ourselves. So if we couldn't smell anything or see anything or hear anything or feel anything, touch and taste and all that good stuff in the senses that let us know we're alive, well, if we couldn't engage any of that and we didn't even know we were here, then what would it even matter? What are we fighting for? What are we fighting over? Please, lay down your arms. Lay down your arms and stop the war. Let's just go forward and love with a new farm directive that'll be good for everyone involved. And everyone can share in prosperity that humanity will reap, and the rewards we will reap from THT Industries being applied and THT being applied to how we go forward and how we transport ourselves all around the world and maybe even into outer space, because I kind of think that can be done too. So again, if you're interested, stop by JDSite.com. Drop me a line if you want to work with me on THT, the hydroport, the two-way, and the travel orbs in 2023, because it's a great project. I'm eager to get it started. I'm eager to build the first ever hydroport on the surface of the ocean. We'll cap it. We'll have that underwater aqua chamber. We'll have that rushing flow of salt water. We're going to be able to do great things, and we're going to be able to do great things together. So I hope I'll see you at JDSite.com. I hope you'll drop me a line and get involved, and let's work together as a team and as a community. So until then, slay.